You need to go up to, from Boston. Oh, he has them, he put them down. They're automatic, so he pushes the button and they come down.
They automatically come down as well. They have some. All of a sudden, all the shades.
But we keep asking you.
Couldn't we go back?
Is it okay if I took the laptop over there? Yeah.
They're really bad batteries.
Do you know why?
Give me a second.
Can I push the video over there? I'm on an extended desktop. Can I push it? Or do you want me to do a green screen? I want to play the video.
Frank, we good?
So all the guests need to sit right behind the judges, so it looks really, really busy in here. Not kidding. You two can stay. Everybody else come in this way.
If you are a guest, please sit behind the judges so it looks good for the camera. Please.
Like seriously, not kidding. Like,
If you are not someone who is demoing, if you're on a team and you are not actually coming up, and that's fine if you are. But if you plan on staying in the crowd, if you can kind of group in there, it'd be perfect. You guys, you're awesome. See what you're doing. I like it.
you get to come for free next time there's a demo day.
This is right there. So we'll start in just a second. Right there.
Can I push?
You just want to start playing it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, I gotta slide it over.
Yeah, go ahead.
Corner on the edge there.
All right. Let's hear it. All right. Very good, very good. Give me 1 second. All right. You made it. It's Sunday, 5 p.m., demo time. Thank you guys very much for coming out, working so hard. I would like to take a moment. I'm going to allow my judges to introduce themselves, and we are going to start with the ladies. We will start with Miss Stephanie Alexa. If you can. Yep, there you go.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations. I'm Stephanie Alexa.
You made it. Happy to be here. I'm Lisa Getzler-Lynn from the Baker Institute at Lehigh.
Congratulations, good evening. My name is Bob Thompson, and I'm with Ben Franklin Technology Partners, and we occupy this building.
Very good. Turn the lights off. Awesome. So, time for judging. And we talked about this all weekend. This is for our audience at home. You guys are being judged on 3 different things, of course. Let me do something real quick so I can read my notes. All right. So, validation. So, did your team actually get out and talk to customers? How many left the building and talked to their customers? All right, very good. Is the team solving a real problem? How many is solving a real problem with your customers? Very good. Has the team identified a specific market, right? Because you guys got to make money. This is going to, all right, yes. See? It's Pavlov, you guys got it. All right. So, second major category of questions is execution and design. Do you guys have an MVP? That's the scary one. Oh, I see a few hands. Very good. Is it going to demo well? And does it look nice? There you go. Last but not least, because this is important, because if this is going to be a business, it's got to make money. So, do you guys clearly demonstrate your value proposition? Does the team able to differentiate itself from its competition? Are you better? Are you faster? Are you cheaper? And can the team demonstrate that this could be a real business that makes money? So, big thing. So here's how tonight's going to work. And Tim, feel free to jump in with some of the logistic stuff. And you're green, so you're good. Now you're red, now you're not good. All right. So, one team. We're starting on A, correct? We're starting over there. So team number 1 is going to be here in just a few minutes. You're going to get set up. You're going to get 5 minutes to pitch. You're going to get roughly 5 minutes for Q&A. I'm going to let each judge at least ask 1 question. The only reason I will deviate from that is if someone decides to pontificate on a topic, and then I will have to cut you off because we do want to keep moving tonight. And if you think that's a way to get less questions, that's probably not a good thing because you probably want more questions than less. After that 5 minutes, team number 2 will be on deck, and we'll alternate back and forth. So when Q&A starts, the next team will start setting up on the empty podium, and Tim can...
Just 1 person.
Okay. And then last, but once we're through all 7, then I will take the judges in the other room. We will talk about you behind your back, and we'll figure out who the best teams are. Tim is going to handle intermission with some things, some announcements, and some fun stuff. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Are you excited? Yeah! Are you nervous? All right. So, for our guests, for our audience who is participating, get out on the Twitters. We're at LVPASW. Use the hashtag LVPASW. Make a lot of noise out there because a lot of other startup weekends are starting right now on their final presentations. Philly's doing this right now just like we are. So, oh, wrong way. Time to pitch. Here's the order. Blue Skies and Sun, you are up first. So if you would start setting up there. Trivia Taco, you're going to be here as soon as I clear out and the judges start Q&A on those guys. Connect Forward, you are number 3. Code My Class, you are number 4. Second Sense, you are number 5. Crowd Aloud, you are number 6. And Rough Tech, you are last but not least. That might be good. That might be bad. You don't know. All right, so I am out of here. Henry is going to start setting up for our crowd at home. Stay tuned, and you are in for a good show.
We're done. Actually, wait, can you toggle the power on that? That, for some reason, it's not responding. Power, anything else you can. Thank you.
One of them isn't being used.
Wait for us to get this going.
Okay, what's that? Yeah, that's okay.
Got it? Good. All right. So just a quick note, every time I do this, the lights will turn off. It is because the room is smarter than me. And then I will try to convince it to put the lights back on, and it will eventually listen. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I guess I need this. Tell me when you guys are ready.
Yeah, time ready.
Whenever you are.
All right. Oh, welcome to the 2014 Lehigh Valley Startup Weekend. My name is Henry Inker. What I'm going to talk to you about today is an expensive purchase, a solar panel array on your rooftop. Typically, like a new car, they cost between $20,000 and $40,000. The main key difference is that you actually, a new car or a car that you buy, you maintain it. So you change the oil, you change the tires when they need it, just so it's running properly. This is something that you don't do with your solar panels. Typically, the installer will sell it as, hey, once they're up there, no maintenance is required. Just keep them up there and they run for 20 years. That is not the case. Some things that can have an effect are obviously bird droppings, just like your car, pollen and dust. So these things really dirty up your car and your roof, and mechanical issues, wiring. And also in the wintertime, a lot of people don't realize this, but they warm up. So animals crawl under them and sleep there and make nests, and the droppings are very acidic. So it'll actually work on the mounts as well as the electrical components in there. So there's a higher rate of failure for solar panels that have nests under them. 36%, actually, when they're dirty, they can lose up to 36% of their effectiveness. So this is huge. Not only if you're making money from them, but if you're selling it back to the grid. So imagine you spend 20 or 30 grand or 40 grand on this array on your roof, and 36%. So what do you do? Like a car, you would take it to, an automotive shop and have it tuned up and have it fixed so it's running properly. Well, we are Blue Skies and Sun. What we do is optimize your solar panels. Some of the services that we offer, just like a car wash, we offer different tiers. So your basic service, we could come out with standard cleaning and inspection. For some of the higher up tiers, we can do semi-annual checkups or seasonal checkups, so quarterly. So we can winterize it like a pool, so we can make sure that you guys are all ready, for snow and the different seasons, pollen in the spring. Pest control, of course. Premium coating, there's a coating that we can pour on top, like Rain-X for your car, so when it rains, it'll bead up and roll right off. And we can apply that to your solar panels. So it'll help get the particles in these droplets of rain and have it roll off so they stay cleaner longer. And extended warranty, this is probably our main benefit. We're actually going to self-insure ourselves. So as long as we service your solar panels, we'll actually guarantee them. So if 5 years after, the warranty for the solar panels are 5 years. As long as you're contracted with us to come and look upkeep, if something goes wrong with the solar panel mechanically or electrically, we'll replace it at no charge to you. So it's actually a huge benefit. This is what our website looks like. Explains our services and cost structure. This is how you would schedule an appointment, your name, your address, and afternoon or AM appointment. How do you want to get involved, or what's really needed to get this off the ground? Not much. We need a vehicle, we need a ladder, we need some certified technicians, both OSHA certified and also certified to work on the solar panels. But aside from that, this is a pretty low entry to the market. So short term, what we do now. Can't see. Cleaning solutions, solar system inspections, co-op partnerships. So a lot of these partnerships have acres and acres of solar fields. So we want to partner with some of them so we can clean it. Extended solar warranties, and we currently cover the tri-state area. Expansion, we want to partner with installers as well as the manufacturers as an extended warranty program like your automobile would. Territory expansion, of course. Key point is government incentives and grants. So there are so many initiatives out there. We want to take advantage of some of those, like hiring veterans. And also long-term energy monitoring, insurance brokers. So we actually want to provide other companies that do similar projects like this, we want to provide their insurance so they can actually sell insurance, but through us. Franchising perhaps, and then selling the supplies like the stuff that you put on the solar panels to help beat up the water. That's it. We are Blue Skies and Sun. Come on, guys.
Very interesting. What is currently being done now?
That's a good question. Santiago?
David?
Well, basically what happens now is installers tell you that they're maintenance free. But just like when you purchase your vehicle, you wouldn't go without washing it. You definitely need to clean off the various particles that can gather on a solar array.
Water's not enough to do it.
Yeah, rain is not enough to do it.
Yeah, most people do nothing. We've talked to a lot of people that have solar arrays, and they say, we haven't touched it since it's been up there. No maintenance, nothing. And it's surprising how many of these, if one panel goes bad, it'll mess up the whole array. So, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
So what's the current rate of failure of solar panel arrays?
Somebody have that?
So that's really addressing some of the warranty issues that you're getting at, because what we've seen is that after 10 years, 0.1% are actually in failure. So those are the ones, there's a very low risk associated, at least for the initial 10 years of failure. And so we think that we can ensure, in case something would happen, to that fraction of a percent, whether it be weather related, so hail or something like that could impact the array, or if it's animal related, these are things that people really don't think about when they're getting a solar array. We would be able to make sure that those, don't completely break down your system.
Hi, and this is a very practical question, but if you go out and one of the basic services would be washing them and cleaning them, you're going to need a lot of water. Many of these are in places, particularly the bigger arrays, are in areas where you're not going to have access to water. So how would you propose having enough water to actually clean them, and then what would you do with the disposal of the dirty water?
I'll take it. It's a good question. So some of the trucks, some of the accessories for the trucks actually have water containment systems. So we can actually put that containment system on the truck. The chemicals that we're going to be using to both coat and clean are both environmentally friendly. So as far as off-run, it's not going to damage anything. It's okay for the environment and for animals. So we don't have to worry about taking it with us. Does that answer all of your questions? Okay.
You got a few more minutes if you want. If you got more questions, you can keep going.
So if we could go back to the size of your market, it sounds like 0.1% is experiencing a 10-year failure rate, is that right?
Yes.
So So talk about how you're going to, how are you going to impact a market with a solution that perhaps isn't aware that they have a problem?
So it's a combination. So that is our premium product where we're giving them a warranty. But our basic product of the cleaning is effective for every solar panel owner. So as Henry mentioned earlier, it could have up to a 36% decrease in efficiency. And that's going to be obviously be more important for commercial, but it's also important for residential users. So we want to, really promote that and say, hey, look, you spent all of this money, you should be getting everything out of it as you can. And on top of that, we're also saying, okay, we understand this was a large investment. Let's make sure that it's doing everything we want it to do. Anything else?
How much time do we have?
Yep.
Yep, keep going. I will let you know when you're done. There's no-
Well, can I go back to the previous question on the equipment and how do we plan to get water there? What you, maybe not unique about our business plan, but all the technology already exists. So there are trailers that come with water carrying vessels that'll allow us to take with us to a particular client's requirements. If they require us to have our own water, and there's hoses that are on reels that'll go up 30, 40, 50 feet. So shouldn't be an issue.
I do. How many installers did you talk to?
Wow, 4 or 5 probably. Yeah, we actually, we talked to a lot of people. So we talked to the Department of Energy. We talked to someone who works under Obama, covering Department of Energy, and we talked to him about some of the benefits, but also some of the needs. So we talked to him about this. He thought it was a huge benefit. We talked to insurance companies, and not just insurance agents. We actually talked to high-level people who own insurance companies, and they were talking. Thank you.
Just getting into it.
We want to leave you guys with one last thing.
Thank you, Blue Skies. And so next up we have Trivia Taco as they get set up. I'd just like to ask a few things. Judges, if you could pull those mics closer to you. We're just having a hard time hearing on the internet. So thank you for that. And this is Trivia Taco. Let me press the buttons and you'll be able to see their screen.
There's a little something for you.
The teams are trying to buy me off. They don't realize I do not have anything to do.
Hello? Are we starting?
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever Tim's ready.
Whenever the room is ready. There we go.
You'll have to front him.
Are we?
But you got the front.
This place is haunted.
We made this room fight.
Hello? We are Get Out Entertainment, and our first product we'd like to explain is Trivia Taco. We started this weekend when we met Dallas. He's not here with us anymore, but he presented the idea. He said he's a trivia host. He goes to local bars on a weekly basis, and he runs trivia night events. And he said one of the challenges that he faces is that it's difficult to curate all the questions that he wants because he comes up with unique questions every time. It might take 2 or 3 hours for him to do that before he runs an event. And it's also not very easy for him to present his trivia information at the venue. So Bill is going to demonstrate our first product.
Thanks, Josh. First of all, Dallas is still with us.
Yeah, sorry, he's not with us right now.
But he was sick today and couldn't make it in. So, just keep going. So based on the requirements that Dallas gave us, based on his experience hosting at venues, we developed this application. I want to give a quick tour of the features in the application that allow you to build a presentation for a trivia night and then actually present it. trivia nights typically organize all of their questions into a series of rounds. So I'm going to create a round here. I'm just going to call it sports. And then using our database, which is on the internet, in the cloud, I can search for key terms, and I got a list of questions that are coming down from our database. I can then select different questions that I want to use for a particular contest. I can add them into my round. These are now downloaded onto my tablet, so I can work on this in the afternoon. I can go to the venue in the evening. They don't have good Wi-Fi. I'm still good to go. I can still use this. And we also provide some tools. You can manage them, you can delete, you can change the order. But once you get to the venue and you want to present them, we provide this interface for the presenter to work with. And they could just work with this interface and actually read questions to the crowd. You'll notice down here, they can see what the next question is. We've got a timer to help pace the whole evening. And they can go through different questions and see what the current question is. Or we can work with external devices, and I'm going to try to manage this here, and project the questions out onto an external screen. So now, the people in the bar can actually see questions presented on the TVs there, and I've still got my control panel here that I can work with, and I can go through the different questions and present them. In a review mode, we will actually support being able to show the answers on the screen as well if they want to review them as they're going along. So that's kind of a quick tour of the app that we developed this weekend. Josh?
Great, thanks, Bill. So, like I said, we're Get Out Entertainment, and I'd like to show you the rest of our business plan, which involves plugging back in. So, we would like to provide a social platform that connects restaurants and bars with the event hosts like Bill and the patrons that they need. So that was Trivia Taco. It demonstrates that we can leverage technology to solve the problem to make things easier for the event host and more engaging for the participants. That's the event host component. Moving on to the patron, we need to bring in more people to this restaurant, so we're going to offer a app so that they can check in and say, I'm here, I'm at the event. The app syncs with the event host, and the host can say who won the event, and you can keep track of points. It gives you encouragement to come back to the event in the future. We then get to the venue. The venue, we want to market a product to the venue. They will be our paying customer. They will talk to us, and we hook them up with a host, and we give them customers, and we give them a way to manage their customers and push updates, and customers are encouraged to go to the venue. And so this is our broad picture of the value that we present, and then we figured out our financial things.
Terrific. So I see that your future plans include karaoke kebab, and what struck me about this was that it was like karaoke was 15 years ago in every bar, in every night spot. But what is the size of the market? I have no sense for that.
Talk to this.
In the United States, there are 300,000 roughly restaurants that might meet our audience. We actually went out and talked to restaurants in Bethlehem, and out of the roughly 10 places that we went, 5 were really interested, and 3 probably would have signed up last night if we had something that we could turn on for them. And so there was an excitement about it because they have room in the restaurants that they want to use, they want to engage their users, and the true value is once they sign up for the trivia, we have them. We know who they are. It's very difficult for restaurant owners to know who they are and engage their people. It's something they spend lots of money with, all kinds of advertising. We give them advertising that we know their return on investment because they can see that on the website. They can see the number of check-ins. And honestly, they love trivia because it's a well-known commodity, but they would love bingo, they would love mystery, they would love any event that they can track. And since we know technology, we know games, my background's in games, my background's in software, we can facilitate it to do two things: make it more engaging and make it easy to facilitate, which again, draws people in.
A large market that we have. Yes.
Okay, so you'd be selling this to the venue, to the restaurant.
Exactly.
Which means you're then displacing the people who have businesses and careers going from location to location, doing these types of things.
No. We will give them gigs that they can do at these restaurants. We connect them with the restaurant. Our goal is to not intrude on anyone's current workflow, and we want to make sure that we just connect and facilitate the process better.
Okay, so, all right, so that makes it even more complicated. Because my concern was that now the restaurant has to have someone on staff who is not just comfortable but good at running games. So you're saying that along with buying the service, you will provide the facilitator.
Yes.
Is that right? So you're not just a game company, now you're also a personnel company.
No, we know who the facilitators are in the area, and they already do things like this at restaurants, and we will show them more restaurants that they can go to and do this more.
So we'll be working with independent people not employed by us, but who are active in the local area to be able to hook them up and provide technology
But
to
the venue's
support them.
gonna pay. So why would the venue pay if the person who's gonna benefit is this administrator, I mean, the person who comes in to do it? See, I don't.
Because we're bringing them more regular customers and return customers. And a lot of these businesses they don't currently have a setup where they have events going on at their restaurant, and they have downtime at their restaurant where it's empty, and they want to bring in more customers, and we have found a way to do that for them.
I'm sorry, I guess I didn't make my question clear. If the venue is going to contract with you,
Yes.
but these independent contractors who go from place to place want to use this, then they have to identify places that have contracted with you.
By talking to us.
That's what I mean, is that you would have to also, you would have to sell to the venue, and you have to sell to these independent contractors.
Exactly.
And matchmake. So you're not only in the games business,
Right.
you're in the personnel business.
Okay. Then yes. And we expect to do that well.
Okay, I'm still not clear.
We don't have very many employees.
Let me ask the question. You have the independent contractors, you have the venues.
Yes.
So, and you never got to this anyway, so what is your revenue model?
We charge the venues monthly, and we don't charge the contractors to use our software or our database. And then the revenue comes from the venue. They pay us monthly, and they pay us every time that they want to use a contractor.
Trivia Taco. Up next we have Connect Forward. On deck is Code My Class. You guys come up when the judges are asking questions.
We are Connect Forward. Thank you. All right. we live in a world of opportunity. We have more opportunities to learn more things than ever before, and as technology advances, we actually have more opportunities to specialize and really focus on things that we love doing. In the past 10 years, we've seen a 38% increase actually in the number of bachelor's programs offered, which is really awesome, except for the fact that we've talked to parents and guidance counselors over the past 2 days, and they've told us that the amount of support for high school students looking to go to college is actually drastically decreasing. Not only are counselors completely overwhelmed, but they're spending most of their time working on paperwork, working on SATs, AP tests, things that are unrelated to career counseling. And so they're overworked and they're stressed out and they're crumbling. They're not able to handle the pressure. And this is a problem for parents because their parents are sending their kids to college and the kids don't know what they want to do, so that these kids are transferring to different majors. And these kids are transferring to different majors, which means that they do that 3 times, they get an extra year of school, and that's $50,000 more if you go to Lehigh, which is a big price for parents. But not only that, it's also the parents are really worried that their kids are going to be really unhappy. They're going to grow up and they're going to be miserable hating their jobs, right? So it's a big problem for parents. And we've talked to parents and they've told us a problem. And they told us that what they've been trying to do to fix it. And what they've been trying to do to fix it is to work within their networks, to meet with doctors, to meet with lawyers, people they know, to try to talk to their kids and make sure their kids actually want to be a doctor when they grow up. But the problem is their network is too small. And that's where we come in. We provide a platform where high school students and parents can meet and talk with young professionals to see if they really want to be an actor, really want to be a doctor, really want to be a veterinarian when they grow up. Check us out. So we've actually built a successful platform over the past 2 days. We want to show you it's not just a working prototype, it's a working website. And so you can do exactly what you saw in the video, if it ever loads, where you go and you search for a job that you're interested in, right? Or you can do what most guidance programs are doing now, which is just whenever you fill out a survey, and that suggests you to a career that you're interested in, and then that will bring you to a person that you can actually see the profile of, right? So I'm sorry that the internet's not working, but what I want to demonstrate to you was that you can actually go in on our website and you can go through, type in, like computers, right? In the survey, you find a software developer. You go to the software developer page. These are all things that you can do. Oh, great, right? These are all things that you can do now on the current platforms that the schools are using. Say I'm interested in computers. I submit that, and I can go on and I can see, okay, what kind of jobs are available for me? Someone like me, I could be a software engineer, I could be a database administrator. But if I wanted to be a software developer, right, what I can't do with the systems the schools have now is find real software developers, read their profile, see what they do on a daily basis, see a 30-second snip about what they do in their life, and see if that they're certified, that they've had their clearances. And I definitely, in today's world, can't add them to my cart and have a conversation with them scheduled in person. So this is pretty cool, and we're really excited about it. We talked to parents about that solution, and they're willing to offer, they said, unprompted, $50 to $100 for a 1-hour consultation. 1-hour consultation with a professional, which is awesome. We think that might be a little bit optimistic, so we're initially charging $30 for an hour consultation. But imagine, for the 2 million students that are going into college next year, if each of them only does 1 consultation, that's a $60 million market, right? And if each of them does what the parents said they were going to do, and each of them does 2 or 3 or 4 consultations, that's a $200 million market. And that's just one revenue stream of our business model. And why are they willing to do this? They're willing to do this because they're already paying thousands of dollars in the future for their college education for the kids, and they want to make sure that they're going to have the right job, the right opportunity. So just a little bit about our business model. We talked about how the parents are interested in our what we have to offer, but what they want to know is that it's validated. They want the schools to provide it for them, so we're actually going to provide it free to the schools. Now we're going to drive people to our site by actually working initially with businesses to bring in those young professionals that would want to talk, because we think businesses might want to see, oh, these are air products engineers, right, and get that working in the high school student's mind. We've done a little bit of research into our competitors, and there's tutoring, there's mentoring, there's career counseling, but the career counseling, these websites, all they do is they give you a description of the website. They don't link you up. The mentorship links you with local mentors, and the tutoring.com, it gives you that face-to-face over the video, but it only works on education, which we're not focusing on. Do we think we can do it or can be successful? Yes, we do. Because we've talked to our customers, they have a problem, they want our solution, and what we do really well is we've been pivoting all the way along the way. We always validate our assumptions, right? We pivoted 9 times just because our customers have told us they want different things. We have an awesome team with all kinds of skills, and we are really excited. We thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So why would I be enthusiastic about offering my time as the person that the students would contact?
Absolutely, that's a great question. Part of our business model, we actually split 50-50. Whenever they pay a fee to us, we actually give half of whenever the parents pay us, we actually pay half of our profits to the person that's doing the interview. So actually being paid as a consultation for an informational interview. So a young professional could go on and talk to a student, and if they charge $30, for the consultation, they would get 15 of that.
I'm sorry, but I need to follow up on that.
Mhm.
If I'm a professional,
Mhm.
$15 is not a good compensation for my time.
Absolutely. But we're also not targeting the veterans, right? We're targeting people who are right out of school who want to give back. We're actually leveraging the feel goods, right, a lot more. We talked to young industry professionals, and they, I will be one soon myself, and I actually still give back to the community. I go talk to middle school students and talk to them about things that I'm interested in. We have people on our team from Air Products, and they were saying the same thing. She was talking to people within her network, and they were like, oh yeah, that would be really fun. I would like to talk to a high school kid for half an hour. So there's the feel good element. The compensation is really just icing on the cake for them.
Okay, I'm very intrigued by this mentor idea. I think that
Mhm.
it definitely has some merit, but it's still not clear to me how you would populate your mentor database.
Mhm.
So what is your planning process for that?
So we talked about it a little bit, but initially, to make the initial population, we're going to reach out to companies in different industries, right? So Air Products might be very interested if whenever a kid's searching for engineering, right? Maybe I like engineering. If there were Air Products engineers right there, or Lindy engineers on there, that would put in the kid's mind, these kids that are searching for engineering are future employees, right? So it's already marketing to these kids. It's giving them in their mind that, oh, success in engineering relates to Lindy. So initially, that would be a lot of the focus, though we hope eventually we would definitely want to get away from that because we're not trying to create a sales platform for these individual businesses. But as more people find out about it, they'd be more inclined to work on it. It actually works in Odesk and a lot of these other companies that are doing this sort of like crowdfunding for specific skills. So we know that people like to volunteer their time or work on their time on small projects. It's been verified in other industries like Fiverr and other companies like that. But initially we'll be reaching out to those companies.
So when you were talking about the competition,
Mhm.
you currently provide some of the services that you
Right.
are hoping to include. I just want to, I think I heard you say they only focus on education. Is that what you were talking about?
So that was one group. Here, I can go back in the slides to our competition. So there's really 3 groups of competitors that we noticed. One is the tutoring, right? So groups that actually do like online tutoring, and those are specifically, someone has a physics question, these tutors will meet them online to provide them with physics answers.
You were just talking about that segment.
That was just that segment. The mentoring group obviously isn't education. These are mentors who are trying to be professional mentors, but like I said, they're much more local.
So I think my question has to do with
Sure.
the idea that you're talking about high school students
Mhm.
who are going to be mentored by industry professionals,
Mhm.
that they have the college experience in between, and so the school must play a role in that in some way.
So that's when we talked to parents, that was actually one thing that they definitely said, was that they were like, oh yeah, I would love to have my high school student talk to a chemical engineer to figure out what chemical engineering is, but I wouldn't want to find it on some shady website. I'd actually want to know from the school that it was a valid site. So that's what was part of the business model that I was talking about. We're giving it for free to these schools to use all the basic services. And currently, the basic services would include like defining the career blocks, right, or reading profiles about the different people in the industry. And those are services that are currently being charged $500 a year by the people, and we give that for free, basing our revenue off these sales of the interviews.
So one conversation is not going to change someone's mind. To really be a mentor or to have someone
Mhm.
understand what it's like, there has to be a series of conversations. Are you expecting that these students would develop a rapport with this mentor, or is it literally almost a commercial for that kind of career?
We've talked to parents a little bit about this, and the way that they would want to use it really is just to get a snapshot, right? They want, when I was talking to the parents, what they said what they wanted was they wanted their kid to be able, if they thought the kid wanted to do computer engineering or chemical engineering, they wanted their student to be able to talk to a chemical engineer, have a list of questions prepared, find out what it was really like, realize, wow, you do a lot of computer work. I don't like computers. I don't want to do that. And then be able to do that with a bunch of different people. So it's much more a snapshot, a window, than a continued relationship.
Thank you, Connect Forward. I'm next going to code my class, and second sets, get ready to set up when the questions go to judges. Doesn't seem as if the connection not work on that, because I never saw it on the screen. There we go. Let me reset. I switched it because I thought I had the wrong one.
One more screen drop?
Yeah, one more screen drop. Let's just get a round of applause for this room. It can go up. It needs to feel special.
Thank you very much. Okay. We're good? All right, great. Hi, my name is Jenna, and I'm an 8th grade social studies teacher in the district. And every year I come up with these ideas for tech and code-based lesson plans that I neither have the time nor the skills to actually develop. Now, I got really lucky, and I married I married a coder, basically, but I know a lot of teachers who don't have that resource, and they don't have the skills, but they have the ideas.
And that's really the problem. My name's Anthony. Most of the school tech spending is on hardware, about $1.2 billion per year. And on the other side, a lot of the apps that we see are administrative or very big, more complicated things. So really what we're trying to find or trying to solve is that teachers want apps that bring their dream lessons to life. So that's Code My Class. We're talking about enabling teacher-driven apps, games, and digital learning. In a nutshell, that's, we have a teacher that submits the idea, and the idea should be able to be built in less than 2 weeks. And after it's complete, it's distributed through a number of channels, including the App Store or hosted on our site. And just to dive into the process a little bit, the teacher submits the idea, we review them and review it and set the funding target, and then other teachers kind of contribute or vote with their apples, which is the currency for our website. If it's fully funded, we go through with development. If not, we return the apples to the contributing teachers. And after it's all said and done, we have the teacher that submits the idea gets a reward, the funders get access to it for free, and the code goes on our store as a source of recurring sales and to catch teachers that missed the initial funding. And again, that apple is our currency. You can buy it in bushels. And from a validation standpoint, we had, in just a very short amount of time, 84 teachers, tech specialists, and curriculum and admins amazed by the high response rate, 37%, and we, in 24 hours, had 20 ideas submitted from those teachers. And again, that's really our target market, mostly in the 20 to 40 age range, teaching kindergarten through 12th grade, and US-based, although we did have one teacher from Italy respond. Boiling down some of the numbers, 14% said they would pay up to $20 for the idea. We did some math, very conservative estimate of about 20 million in sales, but we really would need to model out some of the a subscription model and even the recurring sales through the store. So I'll talk about the competitors a little bit to get a better idea for the market. But from a revenue and cost perspective, you have the bushel sales, subscriptions, and recurring app sales over across the platform. We do have to keep in mind that the review of the ideas takes time, the development of them will take time, and there's a hosting cost associated with it. Ingenious idea, tons of ways to incorporate.
Those are some of the comments we had from special education teachers and others. Fantastic idea, absolutely interested. And I'm going to go through a little quicker here. We've got 2 minutes. But there's a roadmap involved, which maybe we can talk a little bit more about in the questions about how you build out that platform. And again, the competition has demonstrated, 30 million in sales for Teachers Pay Teachers and Lesson Planet, but there are some things that they're not doing, like the digital side, or they're just curating things. So our marketing strategy to get the word out is very social media focused, because that's how it works in the teacher space. And we, talk about the thunderclap approach to really kickstart that platform. And just to kind of summarize before we show our ideas in our working prototype, the best apps and businesses for education are developed by the ones that have been there, made by teachers. We talk about Scaffold and some Quick Key, a crowdfunded app, and some of our competitors. So we really feel strongly about educators as founders. So let me just jump through. And again, we have actually 2 sites. One's hosted our domain, and this one's hosted locally, just to kind of prove out we have a nice platform behind it and some of our ideas. These just came in over the weekend. We put some example accounts on there. That doesn't even include all of them. So yeah, again, let me just get this going here. We're Code My Class, and we're really focused on enabling those apps, games, and activities, or digital activities. I guess we'll open up for questions.
Thank you. It's interesting. What was not clear to me anyway.
Mhm.
What actually drives you to develop the app? What is the hurdle that you have to go over?
Exactly. So one teacher submits the idea, and then when we review it, we make sure, A, that it's feasible technically, because a teacher might not have the background to know. And then we do an estimate of, could be done in 2 weeks or less. And then from that, how much is involved, we set the Apple target. So how big of a barrel do you need to fill before we say, yes, this should be developed? So that's kind of, it's basically a crowdfunding model, similar to Kickstarter, where we're setting the target. And then the other teachers involved say, yeah, I'll contribute an Apple to that idea because I would like to use that too. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a crowdfunding model then?
Yeah, very focused, but it's kind of backwards from Kickstarter, where because the teachers are, submitting the ideas, and then we're kind of curating and bubbling them up. Yeah. Yeah, Quirky's a good model for that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So I have 2 questions, but I'll make one really short.
Okay.
And that has to do with the intellectual property that's created.
Mhm.
I assume the company owns that.
Correct.
Okay. And then in terms of the buying the bushels, that's when currency exchanges hands. That's when you are actually paid.
Yes.
Are there any other revenues?
For the recurring sales, so once the app or the website is developed, teachers that come by later on. Yeah. Actually, we did have an example of the store, the store section.
Get that up. So basically, any app that is created, we would then put up onto our store, and then any teacher could come along and pay a slightly higher amount, maybe $2 more than what the initial app was. So that way, we get the people, the initiative to actually fund one rather than wait for it, just because then people might not want to pay the higher amount. But then if people don't hear about it, then they have the option to come back later and say, I would use that in my class, or next year they're teaching something completely different. They know what's on the store. They can come and check that out.
And that's also an incentive for others to join as bushel purchasers so that they get the reduced price.
Absolutely.
So what do you see as a typical revenue from purchasing one of these apps? Is it a small amount of money or a large amount of money?
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be smaller amounts of money from our competitors. We see, teachers pay teachers. Most transactions are probably $2 to $10. So we have to keep the costs low because it's kind of the main problem we're solving. But it's very much a long tail business, collection of a lot of specific a biology app that does something that a couple hundred biology teachers really wanted. And
So you have to have a lot of them to develop a significant revenue and recurring revenue base.
Exactly. Part of the reason for the 2-week turnaround will actually be about maybe 3 to 4 weeks once you get the idea vetted and then actually develop it. So you need to build that momentum quickly.
But I don't doubt that we would get that with the amount of, the fact that we got 20 ideas from teachers in just a 24-hour time period. I don't doubt that we would get a significant amount of ideas once teachers knew that this was out here to have it developed for them.
One of our challenges might be staffing from a software development standpoint, so. Yeah.
Ed, did you give any thought to what I would call an enterprise sale, where you get buy-in from the teachers, but then you wouldn't sell to the school district as a whole? How you might approach that?
Yeah, it's a great point. We talked about the subscription could be individual or a district-wide license or a building license, where they pay a larger fee to cover all of their teachers.
I mean, I work at the Nazareth School District, and I just recently got a tablet cart this year. So there is that incentive that they're already putting out a lot of money for the hardware, a lot of money for hardware, to then have the software to use it to make the classes the most engaging. I think school districts would really be on top of, especially if they're putting in all that money for, 7 or 8 years. At least that's what they're looking to keep the tablets for.
And a similar thing happened in East Penn. Here are your tablets. We spent tons of money on it. And then you're like, what do I put on my tablet? Yeah.
It sounds like the biggest challenge is going to be the coders, right? The people who are developing the apps. Are you thinking of crowdsourcing them as well?
Yeah, we have kind of our team is developer heavy, and I think there will be, especially once it reaches a certain point, we need to open up to third-party developers, either as a goodwill or even have some nonprofits potentially fund it.
How many apps are you capable of developing in a week?
I usually do about turn around in a day for some of her stuff, so.
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
This is up. Crowd allowed, get ready to prep once the judges ask the question.
Video stream here. Let's doesn't need to. Hello. Okay. Do I need to? Do you want to click your own? I'll click mine.
It should be fine. You stick with the initial. 6 cents. Okay, good.
Hi, my name is Steve Berner, and this is Justin Jacobs, and we are Second Sense. So we created a nonverbal, ground-level military communication system. And Justin, having some military experience, he's going to show you how does the military communicate right now. And also, what is the feedback of that military communication system, and how can Second Sense improve that communication system?
So pictured here is a modern military helmet. Okay, you see those 2 dots. Those are called cat eyes. Now, cat eyes are a glow-in-the-dark system that allow you to visually see the person in front of you on military operations at night. Now, a typical formation here is, this is a military formation called a column formation. So in a column formation, you can see the person directly in front of you and still have visual of your surroundings. Now, at night, this is when the cat eyes come into play. Cat eyes glow, but the problem with cat eyes is they tend to diminish over time. So I want you to picture this for a moment. Let's pretend you are in the back of this formation. So you guys are moving along, and all of a sudden these lights start to diminish over time, and eventually you come to a point where you can no longer see them, and you lose the people in front of you. This offers a lot of problems in the field, and I feel our product is designed to eliminate this issue and prevent it from becoming a future problem.
Great, thank you. So we're going to do a quick demo for you, and Justin, if you can come over here real quick. Great. All right, so use your imagination with me here. This is our prototype. So cat eyes are up here, and what you do is you charge them with a flashlight for a couple minutes, and they last about an hour before they start to degrade. So put yourself in a mission where you're 6 hours in, and you have to look at the 2 dots in front of you, and all of a sudden they've degraded so much you can't see them. So the advantage of our product is the fact that the light stays on, it's solar powered, it's low lumen red. So red is the best light in nighttime, so it doesn't go and your enemy can't see it. We do not degrade, so a full 8-hour mission, it does not degrade because it's solar powered. The second best advantage of our product is the fact that it is actually a communication device. So when Justin blinks it, what he can do is if he's in the front line and he has to communicate behind him, using the current technology, he would have to look behind him, sacrifice his position by using verbal cues, or he would have to use hand signals. Both can jeopardize the position of the entire squad. So by our product being able to be both better at taking over the cat eyes, but also being a communication device, cat eyes have been around since World War II. So nothing's changed in this space. It's been the exact same since his grandfather was in the war. So when he was in training, to his friends that we talked to, the customers we talked to, gave us more feedback than we could have asked for and said, this is something we have a problem with every single day. This is when missions go wrong, and this is a fantastic solution. So we're going to run you through the market. This is important. Not only do we think we have military capability, and that is our primary market, but commercial application is important as well. So people like military-like games, they use military-like things to accomplish those games, paintball, airsoft guns, et cetera. But look at the military right now. We have 2 million troops, live troops. We have 16 million troops across the world. The amount of expenditure on global or on US military is huge. Our competitor right now, again, is cat eyes. It's about $10, but all it is essentially 2 stickers on an elastic band that goes around a helmet. So it's $10 for a reason. Our product is $35. It composes of lighting, elastic, comm, and solar. It takes us $12 to produce it, and we sell it for $35. But again, we are replacing something and doing it much better and not compromising the mission, but also we are a communication device to communicate backwards to let people know what's going on by using our light trigger. And our vision. We believe on the short term, we have access to ROTC programs with Justin and his family and our connections. We think we can get our product tested now and get feedback now. So on the long-term vision is to take over the cat eyes as they exist and have existed since World War II. We think that we can be that replacement. Thank you.
Thanks. So how are purchasing decisions made about military equipment?
Typically, when a new technology comes out, a friend of mine works in the Pentagon. He is the person, Undersecretary of Defense, who goes out and searches for new technologies. If he finds something viable or somebody sells something to him viable, it is meant, it goes up the chain of command, essentially, where they get together and make a decision on whether it's something that they feel is worth buying. So there's a lot more to it, depending on the technology, but that's typically how it's done.
Top down, for sure.
What's that?
Top down.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I can elaborate on that real quickly. So what happens also is if there is an invention like this that's going to improve military operations, the government will give a certain amount of money to take that company to market, in knowing that they have access and licensing to that product. No questions asked. So for an example, they might give $500,000 for us to develop, test, take it to market, and capitalize on commercial applications just so they have the licensing to use it. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Hi. In order to activate the signaling part of it, do you have to use your hand?
Yeah, so that's actually a huge part, an advantage of our product. It is. So we have a couple different options. We can either put a bump if you're holding a gun and walking around, and you could squeeze it, triggering the light signals behind you. You could put a proximity sensor in your hand, so if you put it up next close to the device, it would signal. So that's really the customization of it. It depends on how they foresee themselves using it. We give it to a platoon, and they can coordinate what different blinks mean. They can coordinate where everybody's going to have it on their gun. It's really customizable.
Just to add, it is a wireless system. So, here's just a prototype. This is just to represent what we have planned for the future, but we do have a wireless system and technology that we're able to use for this.
But if it's customizable like that, is the military going to want something that is going to be different from one troop to another? Or should it be standardized?
Well, back in the day in World War II, everything was pretty standardized. You couldn't stray away from that, but in battle, everything changes. Everybody becomes a little bit more individual for their needs and what they need for, and the modern military understands that. So they do allow, like through training it's different, but when it comes to being in the battlefield, They understand people like to bring their own things, like to bring their own equipment upon approval basis. The fact that we make it flexible makes it everybody's standard operating procedures per unit change. So that allows it to be flexible for them to change what they need according to the rules of their unit.
When you had that slide on the number of troops, of course, all I know right now is it's a gross number. And my concern is that I have a sense that only a subset of those troops is going to benefit from the product. And so my obvious concern is that subset could be extremely small and you don't have much of a market, or it could be really large. Can you just elaborate on what the subset would be?
When I went through, typically when you get your equipment, you're issued your equipment and that's the equipment you have. So they have to keep replenishing that as more troops come in. So this is, I see as a constant revenue stream, because as more troops come in for training, those troops get issued that equipment and they have that for the duration of the time they're in. And usually after their time, the lifespan of this equipment has been battered and beaten and used, typically doesn't get issued back to the military. They keep that or throw it away. So I see, you know, as through the years we continue to have a military, that equipment will be constantly needed for new equipment and constant revenue stream. Yeah. Can we take questions from the audience? Well, audience, hold on, audience.
What's the potential for this product failing in the field versus the low-tech stuff that's being used?
Okay, 30 seconds. So what is used right now does fail. It's guaranteed to fail because it only has 1 hour of maximum usage. And after that, it starts to diminish all the way to 6. And yeah, of course.
All right, so I have a story about this. I've gone through it. Everyone I know has gone through it. And we've actually... Oh, we've interviewed numerous, lieutenants and officers that lead cadets and other soldiers into battle now. A lot of my friends, and they all said that they still have the same problem with these cat eyes, that eventually everybody gets lost. And we, as friends, we used to.
Let's do that crowd loud and rough take. You're up once the judges start asking questions.
Tell me when we're good to go. Are we good? Hi, my name is Rich Alborn. This is my colleague Becca Hahn, and together with our team, we are Crowd Aloud. You might not know, but 30% of the population is what is known as auditory learners. This means that they learn better by hearing something than they do by seeing it or reading it. And that's really unfortunate because almost all of the material that's out there, especially in an academic setting, is actually in written format. And there's some solutions that kind of try to deal with this. There's audio books, there's computerized text-to-speech algorithms that really sound like robots and nobody really wants to listen to for very long. But nothing really solves this problem. When I was studying for my MBA here at Lehigh, I would actually take out my phone and I would record myself reading content, and then I would play it back to myself later, and that's when I would learn it, not when I read it the first time. It's when I hear it, because I'm an auditory learner. Becca here is an auditory learner as well. So to tell you about the product that we made to solve this problem, Becca's here. And Becca, can you tell me, what is Crowd Aloud?
So basically our site is a place where we use the power of crowdsourcing to convert text to audio.
Oh, okay. So let's just say I had a file and I'm ready to convert this to audio. How do I do that?
So first you go onto the site and you upload a file. It could be a document, it could be a picture.
A picture. So like it could be my notes from class.
Yes, it did.
Oh, okay. And so Like, how much is that going to cost then? Is that expensive?
So you can actually suggest the price that you think is fair.
Oh, so why wouldn't I just say 1 penny then?
Well, you could say 1 penny, but then the readers who go on are going to bid on your assignment.
Oh, I get it. So a whole bunch of people can bid on my assignment, and they can bid whatever they want, and then I get to pick which one I want. Well, do I just pick the cheapest one then?
You might not want to pick the cheapest one based on the value of the audio recording. So you can go onto their profile and you can go through and see actually audio clips of them, so you can kind of get a feel if you would like that audio.
Oh, so I can actually see like a profile and see how many other people like them and hear what they actually sound like before choosing them to read my file.
That's right.
Oh, that's really cool. So what we did was we came up with how big this market could be. And this market is completely untouched. Nobody is playing in this space directly. By our best calculations that we'd be happy to share with you later, we see that there is the potential for a $750 million market on this technology based on sort of the number of people who are auditory learners, the population that speaks English, how many people are students, how many of them we found in surveys are actually saying that they're willing to pay for this. And a lot of people are really excited that we talked to. In fact, we've been we have a splash page up on the internet. We've literally already had thousands of people visiting our splash page, and many of which are leaving us their email addresses saying, yes, I have content, I'd like it created, or yes, I'd like a job doing this. A lot of the people we found on a site called Fiverr, which is it's sort of a freelancing site for the internet. So if you have a job that you want done, you can just pay somebody $5 and they'll do it. And so there's a lot of people out there doing this. There's also Mechanical Turk, which is owned by Amazon. It's kind of a growing, very big thing where freelancers are taking simple tasks on the internet and doing without having actually a formal job, but now they can get paid money to put food on the table or whatever they need to do. We have a marketing strategy for how to address these people, and primarily we found in our surveys that students are very interested in this. Actually, about 25% of all of the students we surveyed, including not only university students, but also younger students who have parents that are willing to pay for this, are willing to pay. So what we want to do is take the people who are using the service, then we will give them free service to go find other people who want to use the service, and also give them things like marketing swag so they can sort of be our audio ambassadors. At the same time, we found the website hits that we did find by advertising on the blogosphere, so productivity websites and learning styles websites where we're just kind of posting comments and people are just flocking to our site already. We've only been open for a day and we have thousands of people. Also, we've been getting a lot of interest from visual impairment centers. So people who are blind, people who have even dyslexia, they're really, really interested because it's impossible or very difficult for them to read, and we are enabling that for them. Again, my name is Rich Alborn, and this is my team. Questions?
Hi. There is a software program called JAWS, and anything that is on your computer can be read to you by JAWS. And it has several different intonations or speech patterns, so it's very easy to listen to. So that would be a major competitor to you. How would you address that?
We figure that in the long term, eventually computers are going to be really, really good at reading things, but right now they're not. And anybody who has Siri in this room knows that it sounds like a computer. It doesn't sound like something you want somebody talking to you for hours. I can attest to that myself. The best way is to have a human being read things because computers are just cold. They don't put the emotion in that a human being will naturally do.
It's still not clear to me how you're going to reach your customers in an efficient manner. So I just wonder if you could spend some time reviewing that again.
Sure. Actually, my teammate Mo spent a lot of time on this, so I'll pass the mic.
Yes, so I think what we are excited about is that both sides of our marketplace are in many times the same people. So we have students who are interested in using the service as both a listener and a reader. And we've seen a number of other websites that are targeted at college, undergraduate, graduate age students that use programs to have interns in place at their universities, have them using the marketing techniques that work best to reach out to their friends, and whether that's free t-shirts or pizza parties, promoting it on social media. And so we think we could really quickly start to grab those students. And because it's something that they can put on their resume, and we're going to give them a lot of opportunities to test out really cool growth hacking strategies on their own campus.
Thanks, Mo. Did that address your question?
Yes.
Okay, great. Other questions?
So the revenue model, I saw that you could accept bids as the listener. How does that work? Talk about that.
Well, we found that the average student is willing to pay about $10 for an hour-long piece of content that they need to read, and they're pretty much expecting that if they need it once, they'll need it very regularly. So we would sell a subscription model. Then we expect to be able to take about 25% of that and still pay something that's very close to minimum wage, which is actually much higher than what people are making on Mechanical Turk or Fiverr. So revenue-wise, we have a pretty good plan. Does that address your question?
Guess I'm just not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you showed the user interface where there were bids,
okay.
how does that connect to what you're talking about?
Okay, so if you wanted to use our site, you would upload a file and you would suggest how much you're looking to pay to have that read. Then a reader would come on and he would see a description of what it is that you've uploaded, how many pages it is, what kind of material it is it technical, that kind of stuff. And if he wants to read that document, he'll place a bid. So maybe you asked for $12, but maybe he thinks it's easy or he reads really fast, so he might say $7.
I don't want to use up too much of your time on this. That I understand.
Okay.
What I don't understand is if I'm paying to use the service, I'm also paying for the reader.
Mm-hmm.
What am I paying to use the service for?
So there'd be two options. So you could do everything as a one-off, and you could say, I'm willing to pay $10 for this service. Or you could basically do a subscription or buy a set of credits. So if you'll have a bank set of credits. Yes.
Great. Time for more questions?
Okay,
One more.
So your business model is really Thumbtack with a specialized approach.
I'm not familiar with Thumbtack.
Thumbtack is a website where, if I want, I just found an editor through Thumbtack, and I post on there, I need an editor to read this, and people bid on it. The people who are bidding pay, I don't pay at all. So if I hire them, it still doesn't cost me, I deal with them directly, and Thumbtack takes a commission for everything they bid on.
I see.
So that whole system exists, but in a broad range of approaches. So you're saying you would...
Yes, ours is specific to audio. It's going to have tools for recording the audio and for listening the audio that make it better. So, for example, if someone makes a mistake while they're reading, they can go back and fix it. The tools are integrated right in. We will be streaming the content. That way it helps avoid copyright issues.
We have Russ up next, and that is the last of this evening.
Hello, my name is Jordan, and the past weekend, my partners and I have created a company which we call Rough Tech. And within Rough Tech, we created its first product, which we call Rough Behavior. And Rough Behavior was created because of a problem I had. My dog, one day when I came home, my dog decided to chew a hole through my mattress. And so I had to go out and buy a new mattress. And not only that, but when I bring my dog to the park, she gets real dirty, and then she comes home, and if I don't keep my eye on her, she falls asleep on my couch or on my bed. So now my couch and my bed are dirty, full of hair, and she chews a hole through them. So it's not good. And I figured a lot of people have this problem too, so this is the problem we decided to go after. the solution, we figured the reason dogs like to sleep on couches and beds is because it's comfortable. And so if we can keep them from being comfortable on that, on the furniture, they'll stop laying down there. They'll move to a different place and find somewhere else to sleep. They'll see those as restricted zones. And how this is our working prototype here that we developed over the weekend, and it's comprised of two components. One is a sensor that has a load cell on it that measures force, and you place that sensor underneath the foot of the furniture, so the bed or couch. And when the dog lays down on the bed or couch, it measures that force, and then it sends a signal to the actuator, which is a component attached to the dog's neck, to the dog's collar. And the actuator has a vibration motor and a buzzer. And when it receives the activation signal, it engages and starts to vibrate, starts to make a loud noise. The dog clearly doesn't want to sleep on that couch anymore, doesn't want to sleep on the bed. He runs away and goes and sleeps somewhere else. So I'm just going to mimic that real quick here. So this is our dog. We're going to place our dog on the couch, and then we're going to calibrate it so that it knows how much the dog weighs. And then you do that just by pressing one button. It knows the dog's on it. Dog gets off, everything's fine. You put the dog back on, and it starts yelling. And doing that, it can distinguish between the weight of a dog and the weight of a human being. It does that based off the change in weight. So if I was sitting on that, my dog tried joining me. If I couldn't talk for some reason, couldn't kick her off, it would know that my dog's there because of the change in weight, and it would kick her off. We'll start ringing. So now that we know what the problem is and that there's a potential solution, we need to determine if there's a market for this. And with some of the research that we did, we determined there's roughly 70 million dogs in the US alone, just domestically, and 43 million households own dogs. Although there's a market for it, we need to know if people are willing to buy it. So we did some some research with Petco and the dog park. We spoke to some people, and 60% of the people we spoke with said they would purchase it. 40% of them said they would not. And a few percentage of the 40% said they wouldn't because their dogs are already trained. They don't need the product. They train them not to jump on the couch or the furniture. And some of the other ones put their dogs in cages when they leave the house, when they go shopping, for instance. They just put their dog in the cage, and it stays in the cage and doesn't ruin their furniture. And the other percentage, they just don't mind. They don't mind having their dog on the couch and bed, which is fine. But one thing that was good is that 60% of the customers were interested, which we found positive. And of those 60%, they said that they would be willing to spend $70 for this product. And using that figure and the figure previously, we determined that the total addressable market would be $4.9 billion. And these are the competitors here. Paws Away is our only main competitor. It's the only product that automatically trains a dog not to jump on furniture. The only issue with their product is that it's more expensive than ours. It's inhumane. It uses shock instead of a vibration. And most importantly, it creates a large circular restriction zone around the furniture. So even if your dog, so for example, ours only restricts the furniture itself. It doesn't create an imaginary barrier around that furniture. So if you would like it when your dog is sleeping on the floor next to you while you're watching TV, your dog can do that with our product. You cannot do that with Paws Away. And the other one is the covers and the mats that people place on their couches and beds, and that's just inconvenient. You have to move it every time you want to sit down, and it's still dirty. It doesn't solve the problem. It just covers it. And most importantly, that doesn't prevent your dog from chewing a hole through it like mine did. A little sour. So in terms of bill of materials, the total component cost for our product, assuming purchasing components in a quantity of 1,000 units, roughly $15.50, and then adding the labor costs and packaging costs, assuming manufactured here in Pennsylvania, roughly $20 to manufacture this. In terms of acquiring customers, we want to go to beta testers to see how well it works. Every dog's different. Go to trade shows, see what the industry thinks, Kickstarter with funding, and then eventually retail pet stores to reach a bigger market. And future products will have other sensors that integrate with our device to do more things, as well as apps that record how your dog is doing. And that's it. And thank you for your time, and I'll open up to any questions.
Thank you very much. You said with your one, Paws was the one competitor, right?
Paws Away, yes.
Okay, thanks. What makes you think, you were talking about their price point being significantly higher, what makes you think that you're going to be able to price you sell significantly below them.
Well, see, at this point, I'm not 100% certain, but based off the technology that they use and the technology we use, and some of the rough estimations we did as good of a job as we could with that cost analysis. We believe we can be at or below that price, easily at or below that price, based solely on component cost. We did research on how much it costs an operator to assemble products in Pennsylvania. We assumed it would take 10 minutes to assemble the product. We had a few assumptions, and after those assumptions, that's how we got that figure. But of course, that number can be off by a little bit or a lot, but we can't tell at this point. But we did our best to get that number as accurate as possible. And to, I guess, the total cost would be $20 for manufacturing, and then $20 versus $75. That's not what we should be looking at. There's a markup, of course. So assuming 20% markup on that, it'll be 50% markup on that. They bring it to $30, and then another 100% markup on that will bring it to $60. So that would be lower than whatever the competitors are priced at right now. And also, not to mention, we did all that assuming purchasing components at 1,000 units. So who knows, we might be able to sell more, 5,000 units, and then that price drops dramatically. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
So the scat mat has the unit that's attached to the furniture and then a collar. Is that right?
Yes.
And yours doesn't have a collar because it just it's a mess.
I don't want to say yes to that. I'm not 100% certain if the scat mat itself, we were focusing more on the Pauseway. I'm not 100% certain if the scat mat uses a collar or not. My assumption is when
The ones that use a shock.
that's Pauseway. Yep, Pauseway does.
So yours doesn't do that. So that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, ours doesn't shock the dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
It's more humane.
But in terms of the furniture itself, how large of an area does yours sense?
So this is just a proof of concept to show how it works in regards to how you would actually do it. That sensor technically should be located below that foot. And so say your couch is the size of this table, you would locate that sensor underneath this foot. So any change in weight, doesn't matter if it's here or over there, will sense that change in weight.
Oh, I see. So all sizes of furniture, beds,
Yes.
chairs.
Yep, as long as you can put it underneath the foot, as long as your bed has a foot or your couch has a foot, you can put it underneath that foot and then it'll measure the force.
Got it.
So marketing of a consumer product is really expensive. How would you intend to get awareness of the product and to market direct to consumer?
Well, I don't have the perfect answer for that, but if I were to attempt to answer that, it would be the app you saw at the very end. One cool feature we would like to add to it is you can integrate a webcam to that app. So say you're at work, you're working, your dog attempts to jump on your bed or attempts to jump on your couch. It takes a snap picture real quick, and you can see your dog jumping on your couch, and it's just funny. It's just a gimmick. But then you can then post that onto Facebook, post that onto Instagram, share that with your friends, and they can see like, oh, what's going on? What is this? And people start to research, and they can tell like, oh, this is Rough Tech. This is this product, and that's how I think through social media we can market our product. But in terms of how other than social media, I'm not sure, but I think social media would be one way of marketing this product using that feature.
Do you think you can protect this idea?
Protect it.
Intellectual property of some type?
We didn't do any research on patents, and so I couldn't answer that question. I'm not really sure. I know PetSafe. I'm sure they have a patent for their idea. It works a little bit differently than ours. Theirs uses our radio frequency to know a proximity sensor to see how close the animal is to the device. Ours just uses a load sensor to determine weight. So it's a little bit different technology. So my guess would be we could patent that, but I'm not 100% certain.
All right. Big deep breath. You're done. Congratulations, guys. You did an awesome job.
A lot of good pitches, a lot of great questions from our judges, and one random question from our audience. So here's what's going to happen next. My judges and I, we're going to head off into the other room, and we're going to talk about your presentations and who did a good job and who needs to do a little bit more work. Our friend Tim up here is going to chat with you for a few minutes. Then you're going to get a break, and then when the break is over, we'll all be back and we'll tell you who won.
All right, let's give the judges another round of applause for coming out here. Going that way? Oh, we need a laptop. All right, so I'm going to talk briefly before we throw you out for a quick 10-minute break or so about, well, I guess I should preface it like this. If I could put you in the room with the person who founded, who knows who iNetU is? It's a local hosting company, hosts for some big names. If I could put you in the room with the founder of iNetU after a weekend like this, would you be interested in maybe asking them a question? Or if I could put you in the room with the person who ran the Lehigh Valley division of Computer Aid for the past, I forget how many years, would you be interested in that? Or would you be interested in talking with someone who transitioned a company, 5 years ago or something, from an idea at Lehigh University to a, what's Ecotech valued at, 14 million? Is that what Anthony was saying? Oh, okay. So we don't know. It's in that ballpark. I got it close. Or if you would spend some time talking with the first winner of the Startup Weekend, who happens to be actually right here in the room right now, and see how she's gone from being a winner of Startup Weekend 2 years ago to now you're in Ben Franklin, you have funding, you have an app in the App Store, it's working, people are using the product. You could do that if you came to our meetup on Tuesday. So Tuesday night, well, you thought I was just gonna be like, and then I'm gonna introduce you and you're gonna go out for lunch. No. On Tuesday night, we're gonna have another meetup right here. Well, not really right here, in the room over there, but in this building. It's an LV Tech meetup. We do roughly 1 or 2 a month. I'd love to have you all back out here. We'll have those 4 individuals on a panel talking about technology in the Valley, what it's like to start a business in the Valley, to sustain a business in the Valley, to grow a business in the Valley. So we'd love to see you out for that. Also, how many of you are unfamiliar with LV Tech? Oh, so there's like 2 of you. Well, get familiar. All right, we run meetups every month. There's social meetups. There's some tech talks, and we run the hackathon, Startup Week, and stuff like that. So we'd love to have you out on Tuesday. We think it's going to be a great panel. You can go to RarvisPE@meetup.com. I've said enough. I'm going to let you guys go. Grab something to eat, grab something to drink, go to the bathroom. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes when we will vote on the crowd favorite, and then we'll hear what the judges have to say.
Want to make sure that I have a relationship. I used to work So I practice things on my name.
You're not plugged in, by the way. That's fine, that's fine. Go to that camera, that one, the one I'm pointing to. Make it live. Thank you. All righty, there's Anthony. He's come back with the judges after, I must say, more deliberation than I was expecting. But I think it just means they did a really great job and evaluated each one of your teams as much as could be possible while we ate bacon-covered chocolate. How many of you did not know there was bacon-covered chocolate on that table? How many of, oh, you're right. Well, no, there was some sprinklings of bacon around too. It was chocolate-covered, bacon-covered chocolate. How many of you are vegetarian and did not know that? How many of you found that one out the hard way? Sorry. All right, well, we are going to, until I lose my voice completely, we're going to pick a crowd favorite. So, I'm going to go down through the order that's right there, and we will see if, just going to cheer. So I'm going to use the, no one invented it, audience level thing this weekend, so we're just going to try to narrow it down to 3 and then narrow it down to 1. So, give me the cheer for Blue Skies and Sun. All right, that's respectable, that's respectable. Give me the cheer for Trivia Taco. Give me the, oh yeah, no, all right, we got it. It's been accounted for. Give me the cheer for Connect Forward. All right, give me one for CodeMyClass.com. Give me one for Second Sense. Give me one for Crowd Aloud. Oh, I get it now. It's Crowd Aloud. They're good at that. Anyway, give me one for Rough Tech. All right. Our top 3 are Blue Skies and Sun, Code My Class, and Crowd Aloud. So, for those 3, CodeMyClass.com. Blue Skies and Sun. Crowd Aloud. I am going to, in my professional opinion, as an auditory engineer, give this one to, wait, let's confer. Oh wait, I forgot. You are the meteorologist. Metrologist. So which one?
I would go with 4.
Oh, yeah, all right. For some reason, I thought that was 3 for a second. 4. Yep, CodeMyClass.com. And as is normal, it's probably the largest group. So, who would have seen that one coming? So what you get to win as the crowd favorite is you clean up the biggest table over there. Right, which was yours. Okay, sad applause. And now I'm going to turn it over to Anthony, who has a microphone and is plugging into his laptop right now, and I have to press these buttons again, and they will not agree with me. That's right, that's right. Just for a moment, everybody look around. There are shades, there are lights. Everything will happen at the same time. It is not a figment of your imagination. It's not an illusion, folks. This is real. This room is smart. Oh, yeah, we had that happen too this week. Our phones were ringing all week long, so I would think that now would be the time to start doing that, but there we go, yeah. And we have Anthony's laptop.
I'll put you on the back. Yeah, can you, yeah. No, I know what I did. Sorry. I'll put 2. Just do, oh, here we go. Okay, good.
We're overachievers. We already did that.
Okay. Ta-da! Excellent. So, congratulations. You all did it. So, again, give yourselves a big hand for doing it. So, one quick fact. The oldest person here was 56 years old. Our youngest participant was 14 years old. So, I think that's awesome.
And we were both on the same team.
And you're both on the same team, awesome.
Bring out the 56-year-old.
So, give me an idea, what did you learn? Everything, very good. Talk to me, what did you learn?
Team is important.
It is important.
Find the money.
Find money.
Research.
Research what? Customers. What did you guys learn about talking to your customers?
Yes.
Did you learn a lot about talking to your customers?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Ideas change.
Ideas change, there you go. The magical pivot. Are you more excited about entrepreneurship? Are you excited about becoming an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody like, oh my God, I'm never doing this again? No, seriously. Too late, buddy. No, seriously, because that's actually, that could be a big thing. Are you older than 50 still? No, you're not. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you. You are now part of a global community of almost 150,000 potential entrepreneurs. You've participated now as one of over 1,900 events around the world in over 127 countries. So you guys are part of a pretty cool alumni. Over 3,000 organizations and volunteers have been the driving force. So please give it up for our judges this evening who did a great job deliberating. And for we're going to cover this real quick, for our hosts, Lehigh Valley Tech, Tim and Mark and crew, and Katie and Frank and everybody else, and Max. Thanks all you guys for throwing this event. Thank you very much to Wayne for hanging out all weekend with us. I'm getting there in a second. And thanks to Ben Franklin Technology Partners for letting us use their wonderful building. Is this not the coolest place on the planet or what? Right.
How about that room?
Cool. So a very big thank you for the Baker Institute at Lehigh University. So the Baker Institute for Entrepreneurship, Creativity, and Innovation paid for most of this. They fed you. They gave you a lot of supplies. We owe Lisa and that crew at Baker a lot of thanks, and they've actually got some prize in the prize pack for you guys that I think you guys will capitalize on. I know Rita, who was here earlier, has won some seats in the Venture Series program as part of her class. Those seats are in there again, and I think Rita will rave about the Venture Series program. I will rave about the Venture Series program because I went through it. Also, so Lehigh Valley Economic Development Corporation, they also help pay for a lot of what you participated with this weekend. And I want to make sure that we thank all of our prize participants, Fitzpatrick, Lentz, and Boo Boo, who's going to provide you some legal services. MTS Ventures, Matt is here. He's going to provide you some consulting services, probably some prototyping if you need to work on those physical products. You've got RLB Accounting, who's going to help you with set up your QuickBooks and your tax services. And my organization, Allentown Economic Development Corporation, we're going to give you a home for about a year. Shared desk space in our co-working space if you're looking for a place to continue working on your project. So big thank you to all our other sponsors. Oh, $24,000 up for grabs here in prizes. A big thank you to all our coaches, Mr. Wayne Bars, Ms. Rita Chesterton, Ms. Lisa Glover, Mr. Mike Hawkins, Mr. Jeff Minton, and Mr. Jared Steckel. Thank you guys for coming out, working with our entrepreneurs. Did you guys learn from our judges, from our coaches? Did you get a lot of good help from them? Happy? Awesome. Great. Again, for our organizing team, Tim, Max, Mark, Katie, Frank, who else is around? A couple of other folks were helping out all week. I want to thank them. This would not happen without you guys. Congratulations. Good job. So what do we, why are we not playing nice now? There we go. There we go. So what's next? About 12% of you will keep working on your projects, and that's pretty damn good if you ask me. Again, our job isn't to create startups, our job is to create entrepreneurs, because what's going to happen is that we've planted the seed, and now it's going to be that little itch in the back of your head, and every time you have an idea, you're going to think about, how do I create a business out of it? How do I make a little money? How do I solve some of my problems? How do I do some good in the world? Some of you guys are going to come up with ideas for nonprofits. There's a lot you can do there. I think you guys have learned it, and I think it's one of the things that we try to teach at Startup Weekend, that the team is far better than the idea. Ideas are a dime a dozen, are they not? It's the team that can execute upon the ideas, build the business, find the market, and make the money that really makes a startup happen. You will fail, and that is okay. Get up and do it again. Keep trying. Keep doing this, because it's an awesome, awesome lifestyle. It does great things. Startups are the largest employer around the world. You guys create the jobs, not the big guys. You guys are going to change the world. You guys are going to solve the problems that are going to be here today, that are going to be here tomorrow. So keep at it. We're here to help. Get out to the up.co websites, the communities of Lehigh Valley. We have Startup Weekend Next, which is a program that has been developed by Steve Blank. It will help you continue to think through this process of how do you rapidly iterate an idea, identify a market, and make some money. You've got Startup Digest, where we kind of, Startup Digest is kind of a community newsletter. If you go out to Startup Digest/Lehigh Valley, you can sign up. You can see everything that's going on in the Valley. You'll see all our tech meetup stuff. Startup Week, like I said, well, I think Startup Weekend is different from Global Entrepreneurship Week, but that is coming up next week. A lot of stuff going around there, and there's always education opportunities that Up Global is providing. So get out to www.up.co and see what's out there for you. And if you go to communities/USA/Lehigh-Valley, you'll see what's going on in our community. Get involved in our community. So you got the guys at Lehigh Valley Tech doing a lot of cool stuff. You've got Lisa and Lehigh Valley Tech and a lot of big people putting on Mini Maker Fair, bringing the maker community to the Lehigh Valley. You've got dozens and dozens of meetups. You got Lehigh Valley Tech, who does their hackathon every spring, just kind of like this, 3 days, but none of the business part. So if you just like coming out and building stuff and seeing how crazy you can get, come out in probably March, April, May, when these guys will do it again. And for all you ladies out there who want to learn how to code, who might be afraid to do it in an environment with a lot of men, there is a new chapter of Girl Development here in the Lehigh Valley, and they are empowering women to learn how to code, to learn how to be entrepreneurs. Get involved. It is not, I'm sorry? Yeah, I was just about to say it's not exclusionary. So guys, if you're interested in participating, if you're interested in teaching, I know a lot of you guys have been coding for a very long time. Get out there. These ladies want to learn. So other ways to get involved. If you can help us organize the next event. Tim, Mark are always looking for help. I'm sure Lisa's crew would be happy to have a few volunteers who aren't.
Maker Fair, sure.
Yes. So Mini Maker Fair, in case you didn't know, they brought in, we did our first Mini Maker Fair. We had about, what, 70, 80 makers. We had 5,000 attendees, all for free. So
all done by volunteers.
All done by volunteers, completely volunteer run. It was free to people who came. That is a great event, and I know they're excited about doing it again this year. I am working, like I said, I'm a home brewer. I'm working with the homebrew club, and I'm going to at least have my rig out there, and I'm going to be making some beer in the spring out at the Startup Weekend, or Mini Maker Fair. Come to our next event. So next week is Global Entrepreneurship Week. Get out to nextplex.com. There are a ton of events. There's events happening at Sobe Coworks. There are events happening here. LV Tech is doing events. Girl Develop is doing events. The Baker Institute is doing a ton of events. The Chamber is doing events. Ben Franklin's doing Venture Idol. Our number one team will be here on Venture Idol Night. So get out there. This is a great week to kind of get exposed to all of your resources in the Lehigh Valley, all of the resources to you around the country that can help you, and see what else is going on in our area. So, all right, here it is. Are you ready? We need a drum roll. Somebody give me a drum roll. All right. So we know who our crowd favorite is, Code My Class. So number 3 is Rough Tech. Nice job, guys. Drum roll. Number 2, Connect Forward. All right, big drum roll. Number 1, Code My Class. Good job. So, you guys are in Global Startup Battle. Number 2 and number 3 are also in Global Startup Battle. So, bunch of stuff needs to happen after this. 1, you all need to go see Tim when I'm done talking. And or Tim's going to tell you about the prizes. Are you going to do it by email tomorrow? Is that the plan? So, all right. Well, you don't have to do it right now. Tim is going to, so keep an eye on your email for the next few days. Tim is going to email you first thing tomorrow, and he's going to tell you how do you collect your prizes. Again, $24,000 specifically in-kind services that are going to help you start your business. We didn't want to just invite you to an angel venture fair. I think Stephanie would be the first one to tell you that you guys are nowhere ready for an investment, and it would be a big waste of your time. So we want to get you further down the road so that when you do go see Stephanie a year from now, she is willing to write you a check, and that's a big thing. Again, prizes by the Baker Institute, prizes from FLB, RLB, AEDC. We want to see your businesses grow. MTS, sorry, Matt. You know, you're only in my building. I don't need to talk about you. I see you every day. Now, I can tell you, I work with Matt every day, and he does great service. He does great service. He has a lot of insight. He always has a good insight on doing stuff. So the other thing you need to pay attention, now this is up to you. This is not on us. You need to get out to globalstartupbattle.co. You need to find out how to get into the contest. The number 1 team, which is you guys. You guys are in the champions, there we go, the champions track. Whoever, I think we have another team who is led by number 1, 2, 3. If someone led by a woman, there's a women's track. There's the education track. Both of your teams, whoever the 1, 2, 3 is, I lost track now, sorry. Connect Forward and Co My Class, you both are, I guess, eligible probably for the empowerment track.
In multiple tracks, right?
Yes, you can be in multiple tracks. The Innovators track, so Rough Tech, you guys are making cool stuff. So get in the Innovators track, the Makers track, do that kind of thing. That is all up to you. If you don't enter, you can't win, and you can't come crying to us. So a lot of prizes. Again, you're going to get a booth at CES. You're going to get to attend the launch conference. You're going to get one-on-one mentoring sessions with some pretty powerful people. You get a trip to Up Global headquarters in, which I think is in Seattle. Oh no, they moved it. It's in Kansas City. So I'm sorry, it's in Kansas City now. Seattle is better. And again, you got a couple pretty powerful law firms. So get out to the website, find out how to get involved. There are some really, I know Damon John is a judge this year. A couple of the sharks from the Shark Tank are judges this year. Stay connected with us. So follow us on Twitter at LVPASW. Get out to our Facebook page at Lehigh Valley Startup Weekend. Of course, I think Lehigh Valley Tech has a startup, a Facebook page and a Twitter. And again, get out to up.co, Communities, USA, Lehigh Valley. We love you guys. Big again, bring a round of applause to you guys. So you've got 3 things left to do. 3 things. Number 1, we're going to take a group picture. Tim's going to tell us where to go to do that in just a second. Number 2, when we're done taking a group picture, you're going to go back in that big room over there, and you're going to grab all your stuff, and you're going to grab all the trash, please, and put the trash in the trash cans, and you're going to help us get out of here because it has been a long weekend. And last but not least, I hope you guys will come out and have a drink with us because you guys have earned it.
All right, I think we're going to, let's Wayne, unless you have a better idea, Wayne.
I know some guys who can help with that.
Wait. Unless you have a better idea. Last time we shoved everybody down the first one, took it to the second floor. Is there any other, something that illustrates Ben Franklin that you prefer? Or? I'm okay with that. You want to try that? Probably not enough light right now, unfortunately. So, okay, so everybody down to the first floor, and then make sure you come back to get your stuff afterwards. Down to the first floor. As you exit the elevator, go all the way to the wall across from the elevator, and you will